T, congratulations, man.
Thank you so much.
You are the second winner of season 2 of The Launch. How did it feel watching the show back, knowing you've known this for a long time and could not say a word?
Oh, wow. It was such a relief, I guess, for it to finally be out. Relief, doesn't even start to cover it, but it was amazing, to be able to watch that and have so many friends around me when I watched it, and just to know that it was going out into the world finally was so cool.
But it was probably one of the most emotional shows from season 1. A lot of people had a lot of great stories. What was it like for you being there, meeting these other folks who were, hoping to get that single? And again, congratulations on getting it. What was it like hearing them perform their music and feeling like, wow, because that competition was tough, man.
Yeah, no, it totally was. It was the most nerve-wracking thing I think was in our dressing rooms before we went in anywhere, and I could hear people rehearsing before we'd actually been able to meet or anything like that. And I was like, whoa, what is that voice that I'm hearing through the wall? I was hearing Faye do God is a Woman, and I was like, who is that? So that was really intimidating. But when we finally got to meet and then we got to see everybody audition and everything like that, I really loved. I got into it, and I just felt like, I was pretty anxious after I did my audition and was in my own head a lot, and just being able to see them do their thing just made me happy, and it got me bopping, and it got me back into a place where I was like, this is really cool no matter what happens. And I'm just excited to be here with all these people.
Everybody was different, but you were really different because of your kind of rock punk style thing. When they told you that you were going to be in the top 2 to do this, I mean, you were literally surprised.
Oh, yeah.
Why?
I mean, I think it's just, I got out of that audition and I was like, okay, at first I was like, all right, I did my best, that's great. But then you start to think about it and you're like, oh man, what if I just botched this whole thing? That whole kind of negative self-talk starts in your head, and you just I don't know, you start thinking yourself in circles. So I think I went through all the stages of grief, basically, and eventually just accepted that, okay, I probably am going home, and that's okay, and whoever gets through is going to have an amazing time, and I'm so glad that I even got to be here, and that was kind of where I got to in my head.
One of the things that you kind of shared with everybody was, your voice and changing, and there was a reason for that. Can you talk a little bit about that, please? Because I think that was one of the things that kind of stuck in your head thinking, maybe I don't have this.
Yeah, so when I was about 20, I transitioned and I took testosterone hormone therapy and changed my pronouns to he, him, and changed my name. And when I did that, there wasn't really much knowledge of what was going to happen to my voice when I took the hormones, or when I started taking the hormones. So there wasn't much research, and there weren't many other people out there who I could find who had done that and been successful. A lot of people on the internet were saying things like, oh, I lost all my range, I lost my tone, I lost my ability to find pitch and stuff like that. So that's really terrifying when you're hoping to make your life on singing. Yeah, and then to be able to go on the show and just be open about that was really, really cool and kind of cathartic. So it was an honor to be able to share that story and feel like that story was really being handled gently and with care, and it was being respected, because I was really not interested on going on and being a token.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. You were there to be an artist, and that's exactly what you did. You made that song yours. Hope?
Yes.
What do you think that you did personally? I mean, I know you got the producers and everything else there, and I got to ask you about Sarah McLachlan, what it was like meeting her.
Totally.
But how do you think, personally, you made that song your own?
Well, I felt really lucky that they allowed me to kind of do some rewrites on it, and to change some of the lyrics and just make it way more personal to me. So that was my thing was, I'm a songwriter, and that's what I do. That's how I express myself a lot of the time, and that's how I get my creativity out there. So to be able to put that into this single was just so cool, and I was so grateful that they allowed those changes to happen.
I'm trying to remember who wrote the song again.
It was Jocelyn Alice Strang, Bobby
Yes.
Campbell, and Jimmy Bell. Yeah.
Okay.
And
Now you, exactly. Yeah, I never even thought about that. You're added to it. Sarah McLachlan, though.
Yes.
What was it like working with her? I've known her for years.
Oh, nice.
Great person.
Yeah, she's lovely. As you know, if you've met her, she's just got a really grounding presence. She's so calm, and she's very focused and clear. And when she's talking to you, she's talking to you. She's with you right there. So it's just very centering. And as much as it was crazy intimidating to go into a room with Sarah McLachlan, Scott Bruschetta, Mary May, and Alex Hope, you know, she makes you feel grounded and she kind of calms you down. And it's like, when you're talking to her, that's what's happening. And she's right there with you. And that's really good in that moment.
You mentioned the name, Mary May, Spitfire. This woman has got class and she knows how to mold people.
Yeah.
Watching what she was doing with you was one thing to watch. What was it like for you? Was it intimidating when she's like, you got to snap this, you got to get this going?
Yeah, it was a lot to remember for sure. Like, but she was great too because she had all these suggestions, but then she was also like, look, this is a lot. It's really overwhelming, and that's okay, you know, because she was on a reality TV show. She was on Star Academy, you know, so she gets it. And she's obviously done extremely well for herself. Like, she blew past any kind of anyone saying, oh, she's just from a reality TV show. She like blew past that, obviously. So she understands like the pressure, and she understands that being on set and being in that situation is a little overwhelming, and then to have all this new information thrown at you to try to incorporate it into your performance, you know, it's a lot. So she had great ideas, and she was just a wealth of information and a wealth of wisdom, but she was also really understanding and gentle, and was like, you know, this stuff is important, but you have to be easy with yourself, and you have to do what's natural too. Like, she's like, I'm not here to make you a different person or a different performer, you know, so.
And what was it like to perform the song that you helped co-wrote, choreographed, everything else? I mean, we got the feel at the end when you were like, can we do this again? But what was it like out there to finally do it in your style?
It was awesome, and I would have done it a million times, to be honest, because the audience was great, and the audience was so into it. And that was one of the first times, you know, it's like since I recorded the show and then I've been back in Nova Scotia, I've been playing shows, and I haven't been able to tell anybody what's gone on. Mm-hmm. But I got a couple comments from my band back home being like, wow, your crowd engagement is like really good. Like, it's gotten better, you know, all of a sudden. And I couldn't be like, well, this crazy thing happened, you know. But I felt like it really gave me a chance to push myself in that regard. And that was like one of the most exciting things, is the energy from the crowd and being able to give back and feed off of it. That was awesome.
You know, from what I understand, before I came in here, I was talking to a few execs of the show, and they were checking to see where the song is right now. And I understand it's at number 13 on the charts.
Yes.
And I'm thinking to myself, it ain't even 24 hours since I watched the show and it got launched.
Yeah.
13, man, that's amazing.
Yes, yeah, it's like, that's a dream come true, and I think it's like number 4 on the iTunes pop chart or something right now. So that's, yeah, it's wild. It's wild. You know, it's crazy to think like this time yesterday, it didn't even exist. No one had even heard it, and then here we are.
Here we are. But what happens now with 2019? Big Machine. Are you guys building up a team around you? Are you going to be able to release some songs that you've written? Like, what are the thoughts, performances, and everything else? Because, man, the launch is what it is. It's the launch of a career.
Yeah, totally. I'm really excited that I've got a Toronto show to celebrate the release of Hope on February 19th at the Baby G. So that'll be awesome. And then I'm going over to England, and I'm playing the Great Escape Festival in Focus, Wales in May. So if anybody's watching who has anyone in England they want to send over, definitely send them out to those festivals, because that's going to be awesome.
Look at you going international.
Take it international, yeah.
There we go. Look, any advice for anybody who hopefully will be on season 3 of the launch? Or even more importantly, people who are wanting to follow their dreams and make it happen, because you're making it happen.
Thank you. Yeah, I would say, just like listen to your gut and don't let anyone tell you who to be. Like, really don't. Really, really don't. Just do you, but do it in a gentle and kind and compassionate way. That's the most important thing, is people have to be on your side to support you, and you have to let people help you. You can't just walk in and know everything and be the best. Like, you have to work, and you have to be kind as you work and as you work alongside other people. So I think that's what I would say to anybody looking to go on the show.
Other than the launch website, where else can we find you?
You can find Hope on anywhere that music is streaming, on all platforms, and download it. And then you can find me on Twitter, on Facebook, on Instagram, and follow along.
Congratulations. The launch did exactly what it's supposed to do. You're doing what you can to back that up. Love everything, man. You know what? All the best for you in 2019 and the future, because the future is yours.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me.